Hello students, good time to all. I am Chandan Kumar Pradhan. Welcome to your YouTube channel Chandan Physics. In this video, we are going to discuss the 555 timer IC, its block diagram and applications. Let's begin. The 555 timer IC is a monolithic electronic device. Monolithic IC means all the components or the interconnections are developed from a single unit. That's the name is monolithic. So that 555 timer IC is a monolithic electronic device which can produce accurate and highly stable time delays or oscillation. For time delay purpose, we use 555 timer IC. Monolithic electronic device that produce accurate and highly stable time delays or oscillation. Various applications of 555 timer IC. It is used for various purposes, including most popular in multivibrator, waveform generator which generates waveform, digital logic proof. Digital logic proof is an electronic device which is basically used to show either that logic circuit is true or false, either that one is right or not, if all the equipments in that of logic circuit is functionable or not, that can be used to prove that logic circuit. Next, tachometer. Tachometer we see in case of cars, the in section of speedometer which detects what be the speed of that particular car or what be the fuel of that car is designated by an electronic device, that is tachometer. Next, temperature control device, and even if in voltage regulator we use 555 timer IC. Also that kind of IC used in quartz watches, AM radio receivers, amplitude modulation radio receivers, cell phones, pagers. Pagers is one kind of telecommunication device which transfer the voice or some alphanumeric by pagers. Then audio frequency equipment, music synthesizers. Music synthesizers, various kinds of musical instruments, that musical instruments are electronic musical instruments which synthesize the music. GPS, wireless receivers and transmitters. In these equipments we basically use 555 timer IC. So what is 555 timer IC and what are the applications of 555 timer IC, we just overlook. Next, it's the block diagram and pin configuration. Block diagram and pin configuration. The 555 timer IC, the name indicates 555 because Here we use 3 5 ohm network of resistances. It has resistors network of resistors are having the resistance 5 ohm 5 ohm 5 ohm each. Therefore the name it, that is 555 timer IC. That timer is provided with a power supply. We provide it a power supply of let VCC with the power supply to the timer. Resistors, then 2 comparators, that is operational amplifier, 2 comparators, negative, positive. Let it is comparator number 1, another comparator, that is also we call it as operational amplifier op amp, plus minus. Second comparator, another terminal, as it is comparators, so the applied voltage given to that of timer in these resistors, there will be a drop of voltages. At that resistor, the voltage drop is 2/3 of applied voltage VCC. At that terminal also the voltage drop is 1/3 applied voltage VCC. Since we connect the resistors, there will be a drop of voltages on that particular comparators. Here the voltage drop 2/3 of VCC, here the voltage drop 1/3 of VCC, voltage drop across these resistors. One RS flip flop is connected to the output of these comparators. R S and is a flip flop we use. Flip flop is used to set or reset purpose. Since we know the truth table of RS flip flop, there will be a condition as 0 1 and 1 0. One is set, another one is reset. For that reason, RS flip flop is used. Next, two transistors connected one transistor another transistor these two are connected therefore we reset it. Here we obtain the output stage. And finally output. One part discharge, another one grounded, that is transistor 1, here is transistor 2. That comparator, that for trigger point, trigger input, that is threshold, this is the control voltage, the block diagram of triple 5 timer IC. Now that timer is provided with a power supply of plus VCC. It is divided by the resistive network. The network of resistors consists of 3 resistors, and it is act as a voltage divider. And the first comparator, we call it as op-amp 1, compares the threshold voltage with a reference voltage, which is 2/3 of the power supply. Similarly, the second comparator, that is op-amp number 2, compares the trigger voltage with a reference voltage, which is 1/3 or 1/3 of the power supply, 1/3 VCC. In other words, that threshold voltage is compared with 2 by 3 VCC, whereas the trigger voltage is compared with 1 by 3 VCC. Subsequently, the output of both these comparators are fed to that RS flip flop. The flip flop assumes its state accordingly, where it is 1 or 0. In that particular diagram, we show two transistors labeled as T1 and T2. The first transistor T1 is a discharge transistor, and it is saturates of cuts off depending upon the output of that of particular flip flop. A capacitor we connected externally to that discharge transistor. The transistor in its saturation state can provide the capacitor with a discharge path. The outer transistor is connected, the other transistor, that is T2, is connected to the reset terminal through its base. When a pulse is supplied to that reset terminal, the whole timer is reset irrespective of any input. This is overall the block diagram of 555 timer IC. Now, we show that block diagram by using pin configuration. So, pin configuration, show the pin configuration. This is 555 timer, 555 timer IC. It has 8 pin. Here 4 number of pins, 1, 2, 3, 4. There are also 4 number of pins, 5, 6, 7, 8. We named it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The pins, first pin as ground, it's the ground. Next as trigger, next the output, 4 reset, 5 control voltage, 6 threshold, 7 discharge, 8 power supply. Your power supply plus VCC. This one is the pins of 555 timer IC. Let we show that pins in terms of block diagrams. First one is ground. So basically ground, it is kept at the ground potential, which is 0 potential. and all the voltages are measured with respect to the terminal. So, in the block diagram, ground, that network is grounded, the ground 1. Next, trigger, this is the network that is grounded. Next, trigger. Trigger, the output of the timer total depends upon the amplitude of a pulse applied to that of trigger pin, because this pin is an inverting input to that of comparator. To that of comparator, that of section, there will be trigger. Next, output. Output of that timer is available at these pins, so that output can be taken between either pin number 3 and ground or pin number 3 and supply. So, output that is either pin number 3 to ground or pin number 3 to supply. Next, reset. Reset, this pin helps disable the timer. A negative pulse is applied to this terminal in order to reset the timer. So, here reset means in that of pin section there will be that configuration internally. 5. Control voltage. Control voltage terminal controls the trigger and threshold level. The external voltage through this pin decides pulse width of that output wave. The control voltage. 6. Threshold. Threshold, this is the non-inverting terminal of first comparator that compares the voltage at this terminal with a reference voltage of 2/3 of VCC applied power supply. Thus, the set state of flip-flop depends upon the amplitude of voltage at this terminal. Set state, flip-flop has two, one is set, another is reset. So, that set state on that threshold section, threshold in RS flip-flop, one is reset, another is set. Next, discharge. Discharge, the pin is connected internally to the collector of first transistor. This terminal is connected to ground mostly through a capacitor. That capacitor discharges through transistor when it saturates. Discharge. Next, power supply. Power supply, here we supply the power plus VCC, power supply. A voltage around either plus 5 volt or 18 volt just applied to this terminal. This value of potential is measured with respect to the ground of that given terminal. So, here the block diagram and pin configuration of 555 timer IC. all the pins of 555 timer IC now shown in terms of block diagram of that 555 timer IC. So, with the help of this video lecture, we understand the 555 timer IC, its applications, block diagram and pin configuration. What are the functions of all these pins of that 555 timer IC. So, with this useful and informative notes, let me wind up this session. Thank you.